So are retro style RPGs making a resurgence? I mean, they've always been around. And now that I'm, back to playing Sailing Era again, which is my go-to comfort game, Wandering Sword, and we've seen, the explosion of titles like Sea of Stars, Eiyuden Chronicles, with the upcoming remaster of Second and 1 and 2, and of course the pixel remasters of Final Fantasy. Especially in the indie space, we're seeing a lot more, pixel-driven RPGs. And the conversation around how AAA games are not delivering for whatever reason. I'm not going to get into the politics of some of people's critiques, but just from the way the industry has been going with, monumental layoffs everywhere, game sales either not meeting expectations or outright failing, and yet the indie space, we're seeing, titles taking off with, even when you look back over the last, 10 years of Stardew Valley, like, the retro style RPGs and retro style pixel games have always been around, but we're seeing them pick up more again, and I'm here for it. I grew up, playing arcade games and the NES and the Sega Master System. The Atari 2600 was my first console way back in the early 80s, because I'm old. But, now we're seeing this return to the retro style RPGs, and more of them are coming out, and I've been playing more of them both here on the channel and on Twitch. And I just remember just thinking about the joy of them. So will we see a further resurgence? Are some of the AAA companies gonna go digging back into their back libraries and start bringing back and remastering more of these titles? And even some of the PS2 generation games, or even, some of the PS3 generation games, possibly, but a lot of the PS2 generation games could get remastered and brought and re-released, and they would make money. I personally would be here for a complete remaster of the Xenosaga trilogy, or more second games. Of course, if 1 and 2 sell well, I'm hoping we get 3, 4, and 5. I would hope for a new one, but I doubt we'll ever see a new one. But I would like remasters of 3, 4, and 5 as well. And we're still waiting word on other possible remasters to come. A pixel remaster for Chrono Trigger would be lovely again. But at the end of the day, I think the audience is hungry for a return to those retro style games. There's always going to be a space for photorealistic, games. And of course, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be the biggest game on the planet when it releases. But this drive towards, in certain avenues that studios or companies seem to be going, I should say publishers, more so than studios, but publishers are pushing for, especially with live service games. Like a good live service game, I will enjoy the hell out of. I don't have a problem with live service games, particularly like the concept. I just want good games. And when you look at, Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail and those gacha games, they have a devoted audience. They're not super graphically amazing. They're just cute, fun games at their very core. So I would love to see a Sailing Era 2. I would love to see a new version of Inendo from Koei. Like, let's dip into that retro style and go further. I would pay cash money for remasters of the Breath of Fire collection. Cash money. Like, I'd be here for it. I would love to play Breath of Fire 4 again. And Breath of Fire 2 for that matter. I would love, there's so many games from the NES or the Super Nintendo era I would love to play again. Remastered. Yes, I know I could play them on emulator or, dig out and dust off the console itself. But to have, HD sharpened pixel remasters of these games would be glorious. So, are we going to see a shift and resurgence of even more retro style games, not just from indie developers, but from established AAA studios? I don't know, but I sure as hell hope so. What do you think? Are we seeing a bigger drive towards that? Are you hoping for a bigger drive towards that? I think we're burning out on these big multi-million-dollar funded games and looking for more, comfortable, full narrative experiences that aren't necessarily super photorealistic driven. I mean, I adored and I adore Cyberpunk. I'm going to play Assassin's Creed Shadows when it drops. But, games don't need to be that flashy for me to fall in love with them. They just need to be fun. With fun stories, fun gameplay, and, I mean, being primarily a cozy gamer, a certain amount of cuteness is nice as well, but mostly I just want to have fun. And a lot of the retro style RPGs that I've been playing the last 3 years really have delivered on the fun. Sidebar, can we get a new Age of Sail MMO, please? I love you, Uncharted Waters Online, but I need a new Age of Sail pirate MMO. That'd be nice. I'm just saying. Anyway, what are your thoughts on retro style RPGs? Are they resurging? Do you think they're gonna explode even further? Put them in the comments and do the thing. I'll see y'all later.